Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. Today I am off to check out the new anime film, Spy X Family Code White. So what is the plot of this film? Well, it tells the story of a family that's not quite your average family. The father is a super spy, the mom is an assassin, and the daughter is, well, she's cute and she's got a big fluffy dog. And they solve crimes, save the world, whatever. I'm not 100% sure how this plays out because I really don't know anything about this. I know that it's a manga series. I know that it's an anime series you can watch on Crunchyroll, but beyond that, I don't know anything about it. I've never watched the series, never read the manga. So what I'm going to do going into this film is let you know, is this the kind of anime film based off of a series that you can go see without knowing anything about the series whatsoever? Because that can happen sometimes. There's plenty of movies out there that are based off of anime series that are completely standalone films that don't really dive into the series whatsoever. They give the viewer a little bit of information so you have some background on what's going on, and then you dive right into it. And there's plenty of them out there. Heck, there were a bunch of them back in the day that I saw that I didn't even know they were based off of a series. So you know what? It's enough of me sitting here yammering. It is time for me to hit the road because I need to go see Spy X Family Code White. Welcome back. Just getting home, and you know what, guys? This movie wasn't half bad. I enjoyed it well enough. And also, good news, you don't need to know anything about the series going into this. The manga, the anime, nothing. The film does a good job bringing you up to speed at the very beginning of it and explaining how things work in this world, so don't worry about it. You will be able to enjoy this film with not knowing anything about the series. And I forgot to put into my intro also that I went and saw the subtitled version of this. There is also going to be a dubbed version that's released. Now, I'm not like one of those purists or anything that's like, I must see the subtitled version. It's the only pure version. It doesn't really matter to me. I don't care. It just happened to be the one that was showing tonight. So that's the only reason I went and saw the subtitled version. So let's get this started, shall we? We're going to get things started with the negatives and then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note. So first thing, and the thing that really kind of killed the momentum of the film for me, was the second act. It just seemed pointless and useless. I did not like anything that really happened during that entire time. It just seemed like complete and absolute filler, and it didn't really matter to the story. Sure, it was how the family gets from point A to point B, and I'm not upset with that. They still could have used it, but I mean, this subplot that they do in the second act goes on way too long. It goes on for so long. At one point, I was sitting there in the theater wondering if this was going to be the entire movie, like this whole subplot that was going on. I'm like, oh my god, is this the plot? Is this what's going to happen? Because I don't like this so much. But don't worry, because once it gets past that area, you get into the third act and things pick up and it starts getting a lot better. Now, this might not necessarily be a negative for some people, but for me, I'm not a huge fan of anime comedy. I'm just not. It's not my brand of comedy. It doesn't work for me. And this is an action comedy. So there was a lot of parts in this film that had jokes and all that just didn't really land on me. Other people in the theater seemed to like it, so that's cool. But for me, unfortunately, the comedy aspect of this film really didn't do it for me. But I will give it credit for one thing, and that is what I think might have been the longest going poop joke I've ever seen in a film. So good job there. So speaking of good job, let's move into the positives. So the first thing, of course, is the animation. It's an animated film, so how's the animation? It's great. I really like the fluid, colorful animation of this film. It worked very well. It's nothing out of the ordinary for anime. It's still pretty much, normal anime animation style. There are some moments where things get shifted up a little bit, just like some stylistic choices that happen throughout the film that I like, that kind of change it up a little bit and give it a little bit more personality. Now, like I said, I did see the subtitled version of this, but the voice acting is still good. I could still understand the emotions and everything else that's going on, other than the actual word, but the emotion that's coming out, I do understand, and I did enjoy it. I think the voice acting cast, did an excellent job. The story was pretty good. It does have that, like I said in the negatives, it does have that second act that just kind of goes on for no good reason, but the core story of this isn't half bad, but it is kind of lacking. It's not super deep. It's definitely just one of those go get the MacGuffin kind of stories. It nothing else really, but it wasn't bad. It was okay. It was still serviceable. It was a good time. Let me put it to you that way. And the characters were good. Again, I'm not familiar with this series, but I really enjoyed the characters. Each and every one of them was a lot of fun. So all in all, guys, I would have to say that if you are a fan of anime, if you're a fan of this series, this is a pretty solid one to get out and get out into theaters and check out. Plus, it's always great to see anime up on the big screen. I always enjoy getting the opportunity to see anime on the big screen. It's always a big treat for me. And so if you're a fan of the genre, if you love anime as much as I do, I suggest going out and checking out this film. Now, if you're not a big fan of anime, guys, this is a very anime movie, okay? Because like I said, it is an anime comedy. You might not enjoy it as much as everyone else because of the comedy, because of that aspect of it. It's a very niche kind of humor. But other than that, I think this is a solid one if you're a fan of the genre. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. Thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.